wait, let Lydia sort it out. Okay. I have 12:03, and I believe we now have a quorum. So I'll call this meeting of the Summit Board of Directors to order. Can we take the roll? Mr. Brennan?
Present.
Mr. Burgess?
Present.
Ms. Layton? Representative Howard? Ms. Herbert? Here. Mr. Lawson? Dr. Morris? Hey, Mr. Smith? Ms. Horacio? Here. Mr. Unbank?
Here.
Mr. Walker? I'll call advisory members. Mr. Kane? Mr. Green?
Here.
Mr. Jenkins? Mr. Coon? Ms. Robinson? Summers?
Go ahead.
And there you have a forum. Thank you. Thanks everyone for being here this afternoon. That will bring us to item 2, the adoption of the agenda. That's found on pages 1 and 2 of our packet this afternoon. Are there any additions, deletions, changes to the agenda? Yes, Mr. Burgess.
That we accept the agenda 3 through the vision committee. Postpone all the other items for future meetings.
Okay. Is there a second?
Sorry, repeat that. What is it?
Okay.
Accept everything 3 through discussion items, vision committee. Because we're going to executive session, so with progress report, executive staff update. Full format.
So Mr. Burgess had
3 through.
Madam Chair,
yes.
this is Franny. It was hard for me to understand what motion Mr. Fergus made, but my request would be that if you were going to stay and do an executive session, that in addition to the continued funding, that you add an additional topic to executive session, which is relates to property acquisition. And
Okay.
I'm comfortable that you can add that because there will be no final action taken today. This will be a discussion and no final action on proposed real estate.
Thank you. And so if I'm interpreting the motion correctly, you're essentially deferring items 7 and 8 for a future meeting.
E and F too.
Okay,
Okay.
so 6, E and F, 7 and 8 would be deferred until our April meeting.
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you. And I just want to acknowledge, I see Dr. Morris on the phone, and I think I also see Mr. Green on Zoom. Welcome, it's good to have you. Okay, so we have a motion and a second regarding the agenda. We've heard the proposed changes to the agenda. Anything further regarding the agenda? Okay, we'll take the vote on the amended agenda. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. Burgess?
Yes.
Ms. Layton?
Yes.
Ms. Herbert? Yes. And Ms. Howard? Ms. Lawson? Dr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. Smith? Ms. Horacio? Yes. Mr. Unthank?
Yes.
Mr. Walker? Motion passes. Thank you. That brings us to item 3, our update from the Midlands Transit Riders Association. Mr. Seymour, you have 2 minutes.
In allowing it, I'll make this real quick. I was asked to ask about the placement of the new e-buses, the electronic buses, which routes they will or have been assigned to. and when that will start. Also, there was a concern among riders. They know that they have been updated that the battery is 8 hours, then it takes 15 minutes to recharge. There is concern that, okay, how are you going to switch it out? Because some of the buses run 10 or 12 hours. Any written information you could give on that I could relate would be much appreciated. So basically that was concern, out of concern for how their routes would be affected in terms of getting to and from work, various jobs. And there was also, I just, on with this, are there any other plans to, buy more e-buses in the future? How is that coming along? And has there been any consideration of grants or federal funding that the Biden administration is putting some stuff together? I heard on the radio the other day in regards to this sort of thing. I was wondering that had the approach. Thank you.
I believe staff heard all that, and if we have any materials that we can offer the Midlands Transit riders, that would be great. Thank you. That'll bring us to item 4, the call to the public. People who signed up may also speak for 2 minutes. Do we have anyone signed up to speak today? Do we have a list? Did folks sign in? I gave. Did you get it? Did you give it to me? I did. And I didn't see it. Sorry.
Good.
Okay, and we'll call folks in order. Is it, I'm sorry, was it up there?
No, that's just the people who are signing in to hear.
Are they signing in to speak or?
We have one person that's speaking.
Okay, great, great, thank you.
If you introduce yourself, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is David Lewis. I ran the comment, moved here in 1999. They ran the comment, seen multiple changes and challenges ever since. One of the main things I'm coming to, bringing to the board now is the reality of where the buses is right now. Right now, it's total chaos. There's a company who bought the lot right next to the common building, requested the bus to go around and not park there. Because of that, we're having buses stop, people are missing their buses. People who have certain challenges have not been able to get to work on time, as well as a whole lot of other reality. With one simple solution. My understanding is the reason why they had it was simple because it was blinding them from getting out safely. To solve that problem, since they invested in and did not do their research, all they had to do is make sure that they come in on something and Law, come from that side and come out on Law Street. That way, they won't be, their safety won't be in jeopardy. In the meantime, it's causing one route have to be changed. We're missing our buses because we're not knowing exactly where to go to catch them. Once again, as I stated, people are getting to work late. People who have chatted, even this morning, the people who are on wheelchairs are not able to get to their location because of the change in venue, because of the fuel. When the masses need your assistance to make sure that they get done correctly and we burden where everything could be in order. If you need a passenger, which I am, who rides the bus to work with you to make sure that whoever made this happen corrected, I have no problem doing that. Because people can have a theory and look at what ones based on what dollar amount they may have, and not think about the mass of the people who depends on not only riding it, but getting back and forth safely and in order. Thank you for your time. Had another one, but I know you had 2 minutes.
Okay. And then that will bring us to Ms. Sterling. I believe you signed up to speak. Did you want to speak? It would be helpful for us to hear.
Oh. Hello, hello, hello. My name is Jamila Sterling. Excuse the appearance. I don't want to get wet. So excuse the rain too. I guess to piggyback off of what he said, yes, there are buses that are, you change the routes daily and where people are supposed to congregate and stand. It's not helpful to any of us. And to piggyback off of that further, today, this was gonna be a safety grant and a operations grant. And today, Miss Jackie, as much as I love her, she could have been in jeopardy because there was an irate driver, drunk or something, who got on with myself and this elderly couple right here, acted up down at the depot, acted up on the bus, got off the bus, made it into y'all building because of some imaginary appointment that he's supposed to have with Miss Jackie. This is what I keep telling y'all when I come down here. Y'all have no standard of safety this could have been held down at the depot with the man with the gun when he was acting up down there. And a supervisor was down there. And the driver who drove us here was down there. All these people, this man has bypassed and able to come here. I just found out another woman who's been riding the bus since COVID. She said that y'all had a driver that exposed himself to a female driver and it took y'all 6 months to fire him, terminate their employment. That is crazy to me. That these things are crazy to me. Not kneeling the bus, purposely skipping stops because we want to be petty, driving while people are standing. This is crazy to me. Absolutely crazy. I'm just happy Miss Jackie's all right. I'm not calling any of that up, but I have to keep coming down here to keep, you guys need to, again, like he said, I'll be happy to sit with y'all and loan my military experience to safety and comfort to help y'all, to let y'all know that there were so many ways that this could have been stopped for this man to make, and he made it in the building. That's crazy. He made it in the building, in y'all building.
So
To
your 2
clarify,
minutes. Yeah,
that's a bus rider, not a bus operator, correct?
No, the irate situation today was a bus rider. And he was irate at the depot.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I believe that's all, everyone that signed up to speak from the public. Is that okay? That'll bring us to item 5, our consent calendar. 5A is pages 3 through 7, and that's the approval of the February 28th board minutes. 5B is the check register, which can be found on pages 8 through 27. Is there a motion regarding the consent calendar?
The move.
Been moved and seconded to approve the consent calendar. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, we'll call the roll for this vote.
Mr. Brennan,
Yes.
Mr. Burgess,
Yes.
Ms. Layton,
Yes.
Ms. Herbert,
Yes.
Representative Howard, Mr. Lawson, Dr. Morris,
Yes.
Mr. Smith, Mr. Racio,
Yes.
Mr. Unthank.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. That brings us to item 6, our discussion and action items. 6A is the 2023 fiscal year end annual comprehensive financial report. We all have a nice copy at our seats today. Ms. Andrews.
Good morning, everyone. So this is your lovely copy, live and in color. So I have invited our auditor here, Robin Poston, to go over the audit, and then to answer any questions you may have about it. So Robin, if you will.
Hi, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. On page 1 of the audit report, we've issued an unqualified opinion on your audit report, which means it has not been modified for any exceptions from governmental accounting procedures. So we have issued basically a clean opinion on the comment for the year ending June 30th, 2023. If you look at page 13 of your audit report, page 13 is the statement of net position. Your total assets were $83.1 million, of which $28.8 million was restricted assets, including your capital assets, which is the buses and buildings of 26 million, and some investments that are restricted as well. You also had deferred outflows of resources related to pension and OPEB totaling $553,000 and total liabilities of $6.2 million. and deferred inflows of 80,000, leaving your net position at $77.3 million. What that means is if on any given day your assets were converted to cash technically and they were properly valued, you'd have $77 million in excess. Now, obviously, you are a going concern, and that's not going to happen. But basically, that is the net assets minus your liabilities. On page 14, you can see your revenues, expenses, and changes in net position. Your operating revenues for 3.8 million, which includes passenger fares, some advertising fees, and contract services. Your operating expenses total 32.2 million, the largest of which is operations and maintenance of 25.6 million. Your net operating revenues and expenses were $31.7 million. The largest number in this is your 1% sales tax of 26.6 million and various federal and state grant fundings. Your net income before capital items was $3.2 million. You also had contributions from USC capital reimbursement of $8,236 and federal capital contributions of $933,000. So your net position improved $4.2 million. So basically, you had a really good year. The major sources of funding are the 1% sales tax and your federal funding. We also performed a compliance audit on your federal grants, and we have issued an unmodified opinion on those grants as well. We tested the federal transportation cluster as a major program, and we had no exceptions to our testing. Does anyone have any questions about the audit?
Yes, I have a question, Ms. Post. You said the net improvement was 4.2 million. I
Yes.
look at the net position. At the beginning of the year, we had 73 million, and at the end of the year, we had 77 million. Isn't that a loss of, or didn't we spend more than less?
No, it improved from 73 million to 77 million. So
Okay.
it increased by 4.2 million.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you. Anything further from the board? Okay, great. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay, I think that brings us to, so I have one more item for. Need a motion for approval. Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the?
So moved.
Thank you, Dr. Morris. Moved and.
Thank you, Robin.
And I'll second it, to accept the financial report. Any further discussion? Okay, we'll take the vote to accept this, report.
Yes.
Mr. Burgess.
Yes.
Slayton. Ms. Herbert. Yes. Representative Howard. Mr. Lawson. Dr. Morris.
Yes.
Mr. Smith. Ms. Horacio.
Yes.
Mr. Unthank.
Yes.
Mr. Walker. And motion carries.
Okay.
Miss,
Yes,
Ms.
Dr.
Chair,
Morris.
may I make a comment, please?
Please go ahead.
I would like to thank the accounting firm for every year doing an outstanding job. But I also would like to commend our staff, because certainly without the help of Ms. Andrews, Ms. Ramson, and Dr. Prince, she would not have been able to do that. So we thank them for this.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Robin.
Thank you all. I enjoy working with your staff. They are a pleasure to deal with.
That's great to hear. That will bring us to 6B. Our proposed mid-year budget review, also Ms. Andrews.
Hello again. So I'd like to call your attention, beginning at page 31, to give you a quick summary of what's going on with our budget. So dropping down to fiscal impacts, just to let you know, say, as typical, during the mid-year, after the month of December, roughly around end of January, mid-February, we go back and look how we're doing budget-wise. So I do that by looking at where we spent 50% or more, or close to the 50% mark, and do adjustments from there. So our original budget started for FY 23-24, started out at 45.3 million. I'm sorry, from 45.7. So I'm doing an adjustment down to 45.3, which is less than 1% net change. The pages following, page 31, or our budget lines, I gave you a percent of change, whether it's up or down, or no change at all, and a dollar amount change. So I'm here, I open the floor for any questions that you may have about our budget.
Thanks. Any questions or comments from the board? Okay, hearing and seeing none, thank you. Is a motion required? Yes, okay, so I'll entertain a motion from the board to accept these adjustments.
So moved.
Second.
Seconded. Thank you. Any further discussion? All right, hearing and seeing none, we'll go ahead and take the vote on the proposed mid-year budget adjustments.
Mr. Brennan,
Yes.
Mr. Burgess.
Yes.
Ms. Glidden.
Yes.
Ms. Herbert,
Yes.
Representative Howard, Mr. Lawson, Dr. Morris,
Yes.
Mr. Smith, Mr. Ratio,
Yes.
Mr. Unthank,
Yes.
Mr. Walker, motion carries.
Thank you. Now we get to do the fun stuff. So, not that that wasn't fun. Okay, that will bring us to item C, our special presentation. I will let you know that Ms. Summers let us know that she would have liked to be here, but she had to be at the hospital with her uncle, so she could not be here today. But I'll come forward. We are so honored to have Miss Lil Mood here with us today. I have been on this board for several years now, and I thought, what is a meeting going to be like without her? So I'm glad you're back with us today. So we have this beautiful, colorful proclamation for you, and I'll just read it out loud for everyone if you want to come up. Lil Mood has been a dedicated member of the Comet Board of Directors since 2002. She has served with distinction as chair of the Comet Service Committee. Her invaluable expertise as a public health nurse has been instrumental in guiding the Comet's response to the COVID-19 pandemic as a member of the ad hoc committee. She has played a vital role in the Comet's leadership as a member of the Executive Director Search Committee. Thank you. She initially represented Chapin and later served as a representative of Lexington County on the Comet Board. Therefore, we, the Comet Board of Directors, hereby express our deepest gratitude to Lil Mood for her 22 years of unwavering dedication, commitment, and service to the Comet and the communities it serves. I can't imagine having that level of commitment to anything. Thank you so much.
Okay, Woodson is across your head. So
Okay.
let's take minutes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
So you want me to say a word?
I want you to say one.
I'll imagine me not saying a word. I just want to thank you for this, and surely all of you must know what a joy it's been to me, for me to serve with you all of these years in different capacities. And when the time came up for me to either be reappointed for another 3-year term at the end of last year, it just seemed like the right time for me to step back and let younger people come into the picture. And it was the right time for several reasons. One is that I just feel like the committee's in good hands now. We have new and a very capable executive director, a sound board. Mr. Unthank he'd been in training for this job as an advisory board member. So there were a lot of reasons that the timing just seemed to be right. But I'll also tell you that just like you, the board members, I still have a list of unfinished business. And so I just want to pledge to you, anything that I can do to be helpful as a citizen, I hope you'll call on me.
I know we will.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Dr. Morris.
I would just like to say thank you to Ms. Mood. Her 22 years has really helped the board out quite a bit. And I relied on her quite a bit for many suggestions and answers. So now Mr. Fergus is the senior on the board. So hopefully we will get the same type of experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Morris. All right, how do we move on? Okay, thank you. So that will bring us to item 6D. We do have committee chair appointments that I wanted to share. One is the service committee. So speaking of Mr. Fergus stepping up, thank you for agreeing to become the chair of the service committee. And so starting with the April meeting, Mr. Fergus will chair that committee. The next committee that I'd like to announce a chair for is the Vision 2040 committee. And thanks to Mr. Brennan for agreeing to chair that committee for us. We have deferred items E and F, number 7, number 8. So that will bring us to items for executive session. We have 2. One is 9A, which is discussion of negotiations incident to propose contractual agreements as covered by the attorney-client privilege. And then I guess 9B will be, does anybody want to say that one for me? That's, we will receive guidance from our attorney or information from our attorney for 9B. Ms. Heiser,
Yeah,
what was that?
excuse me. 9B relates to property acquisition. Proposed property acquisition.
Okay, thank you. So you've heard the items for executive session. Is there a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Okay. Properly seconded. I will take the vote to go to executive session.
Mr. Brennan. Burke. Ms. Bleaton. Herbert. Mr. Howard, Mr. Lawson. Dr. Morris,
Yes.
Mr. Racio,
Yes.
John Thank,
Yes.
Mr. Walker. Motion carries.
Thank
There we
you.
go.
Okay. Hi, everyone. We were in executive session for 2 items. No action was taken. Is there a motion to come out of executive session?
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Moved and properly seconded. We'll take the vote to come out of executive session.
Mr. Brennan,
Yes.
Mr. Burgess,
Yes.
Ms. Bleaton, Ms. Herbert,
Yes.
Representative Howard, Mr. Lawson, Dr. Morris. Dr. Morris, can you raise your hand if you can't unmute?
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Smith, Ms. Racio,
Yes.
Mr. Unthank,
Yes.
Mr. Walker. Motion carries.
Thank you. We do not have a motion to come out of executive session. We will communicate with staff about future meetings. And then that will bring us to item 10, adjournment. All in favor of adjournment? Aye. Great. Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your afternoon.